So I've got Priyank Patel with me. So he is the co-founder and chief product officer at Arcadia Data. And I'm very excited to be part of this company now because really what we've done is built a native, hence the term native visual analytics platform that runs inside of these big data scale-out platforms like MapR, like Cloudera, Hortonworks, et cetera.
Thanks, Steve. So Arcadia was founded about 4 years ago. As Steve mentioned, we used to work at Teradata together, and before that at Aster. My co-founders and I were at Teradata, and what we were seeing over there was this shift from data management and data infrastructure perspective into Hadoop or Spark-based infrastructures, whether it was in the cloud or on-premise. And what we were really struggling customers do, and we still see that pretty commonly, is that tying up business usage with these large-scale infrastructures was a big question that customers had, and it almost always was, we'll manage the data in one infrastructure, and then to actually analyze it, we will copy or move the subset of that into a different infrastructure, into my traditional warehouse or my data mart or so on and so forth. That's really where Arcadia's mission got established, which is to connect more business value directly from the big data and build technology that enables that seamlessly.
You know, not everybody's going to need a quote-unquote big data platform, but the companies that do are going full steam ahead with Hadoop and Spark and other technologies from that domain. So it's a very strong market. And I think the timing of what we're doing, which is extracting value from those platforms in the form of analytics and visualization, is very well aligned with the adoption curve of the technologies. And determining the value of big data is always number one. You know, what's the use case? How do we apply this to our business? I think that's what Arcadia is really focused on, is helping people build applications that solve specific business problems in the organization with big data, and providing a much easier interface for different user groups. We see a lot of people call it digital transformation, but companies that are coming into markets and disrupting those markets through better math and better analytics and better data. If you look at Airbnb or Uber, they have no physical assets other than maybe some hardware servers and those types of things. It's all through data applications, and those data applications are built on these scale-out architectures, and they're built by engineering IT for the most part. And you know, for a mainstream organization to compete with that, you either got to hire those types of people, or you've got to have a tool set that allows you to kind of keep up with the Joneses from that perspective. But essentially what Arcadia does is to run directly on the same data nodes, or in the case of Amazon, we run on the elastic tier of Amazon, and we access data directly so that the end users have direct granular access to all that information. And of course, if there's a structure to it in the Hive metastore and those types of things, we inherit that. But we also have the ability to support other types of data, which we'll get into more around NoSQL and other real-time applications. We could take jobs out of Spark Streaming or Apache Solar and those types of things, and allow them to build their analytics or dashboards, whatever you want to call it, directly kind of in that tier. So you're leveraging the hardware, the compute, the resource that's there in a much more efficient way. We also inherit things like security. There's a lot of benefit to that for the certain types of applications and certain types of users that want to go directly against the data lake. And oh, by the way, the user concurrency, which we'll show in a minute, is exponential change over what you get from a traditional SQL and Hadoop approach. You can run on premises, in the cloud environment, hybrid, obviously, and everything we do is through a browser-based visualization layer. So there's a visualization engine that runs on an edge node within the cluster, but the analytic platform itself, and we'll talk about what that looks like, this smart acceleration thing, runs on the individual nodes where the processing is right next to the data on those nodes, which really improves the performance and concurrency around the way we cache data and those types of things. People, and they can drill down to as much detail as needed directly within one application. They don't have to do swivel chair analytics and move between different tools. We provide that full granular visibility all the way down to the raw log files from different server architecture that's out in the field. And we actually got nominated by Gartner just this month for being a cool vendor in IoT analytics as a result of some of the things that we've been doing there. So that was kind of nice. And we got really high marks on the architecture and the approach that we've taken. And again, the point is moving the BI processing, which is not just analytics or SQL, but all the different types of workloads that BI provides, running it right next to where the data sits. So that's definitely a trend that's in there in the market. There's other vendors that do this. I think we do it very well, particularly from an architecture perspective, which is why we see great uptake within organizations like Kaiser Permanente and P&G, where they have their first use case and they scale and they get lots of other applications built on top of it because of how well we scale. The core value prop is speed, scale, and analytics. hundreds of concurrent users. We want sub-second performance for the report dashboard of the applications that we build, and allow people to sort through billions of rows of data in a seamless, fast fashion. And it runs directly within the Hadoop and cloud environment with no data movement.